Welcome to the very first episode of Inside Edge. I'm excited to have you here as we kick off this journey, diving deep into the world of sport, business, and society. And what better way to start than with one of rugby's greatest rivalries? Today we're breaking down the 2025 Rugby Championship, looking at the current situation, and of course, the history and importance of the Bledisloe Cup between New Zealand and Australia. Let's get into it. So first up, the Rugby Championship 2025. This four-nation contest between New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and Argentina is as competitive as ever. Right now, the standings are incredibly tight. Australia are leading the table with 11 points. But South Africa and New Zealand are close behind, both sitting on 10 points each. Argentina are trailing, but they've shown they can spoil the party when it matters. What makes this championship so fascinating is just how wide open it is. Every team has had highs and lows. For Australia, it's about consistency. They've looked sharper under their new coaching setup and seem to be peaking at the right time. South Africa remain as physical and relentless as ever. That big win over the All Blacks earlier in the tournament has set the tone. New Zealand, meanwhile, are in a challenging position. They've shown glimpses of brilliance, but discipline and execution haven't been where they need to be. For them to win the title, they'll need to beat Australia at least once, possibly twice, and hope South Africa drop points. This year's Rugby Championship really feels like it could go down to the very last match. Now, let's talk about one of the most iconic trophies in world rugby, the Bledisloe Cup. This cup is contested between New Zealand and Australia every year, and it's been running since the 1930s, when Lord Bledisloe, New Zealand's Governor-General at the time, donated the trophy. For fans, it's not just silverware, it's about bragging rights, tradition, and pride. Here's the big stat: the All Blacks have held on to the Bledisloe Cup since 2003. That's more than 20 years of dominance over Australia. And when it comes to playing at Eden Park, it's basically a fortress. Australia hasn't beaten New Zealand there since 1986. That's almost 4 decades. But, let's not forget, Australia has had their moments too, especially in the late 90s and early 2000s, when they consistently challenged New Zealand. That's what makes this rivalry so special. No matter the form, whenever the Wallabies and the All Blacks meet, it's always intense, unpredictable, and full of drama. Heading into this year's Bledisloe Cup clashes, we now know the All Blacks starting 15, and it's a fascinating mix of experienced campaigners and fresh talent: Ethan de Groot, Cody Taylor, Terrell Lomax, Fabian Holland, Tupou Vaa'i, Simon Parker, Ardie Savea, Captain, Wallace Siditi, Cam Roigard, Beauden Barrett, Caleb Clark, Geordie Barrett, Billy Proctor, Leroy Carter, Will Jordan. That's a side with power up front, world-class strike power out wide, and a spine built around experience in Taylor, Barrett, Savea, and Jordan. Key talking points: Ardie Savea leads from number 7, bringing leadership and breakdown dominance. The inclusion of Fabian Holland and Simon Parker adds freshness to the tight 5 and back row. Cam Roigard returns at scrum half, linking up with Beauden Barrett, who holds onto the number 10 jersey. Out wide, Caleb Clark, Leroy Carter, and Will Jordan form a back 3 with serious attacking firepower. It's a balanced team, but the challenge will be execution under pressure. Can the forwards deliver the platform? Can Barrett and Geordie control the midfield? And can Will Jordan once again be the difference maker in big moments? The Wallabies, on the other hand, will sense an opportunity. They know New Zealand aren't invincible right now, and they'll want to strike hard, especially in the first test. So to wrap up, the 2025 Rugby Championship is wide open. Australia are leading, South Africa are brutal as always, and the All Blacks are fighting to stay in the hunt. And with the Bledisloe Cup on the line, history and rivalry will add even more fire to the contest. For the All Blacks, it's about proving consistency, fixing discipline, and showing they can still rise when it matters most. For Australia, it's about finally breaking the streak and showing the world they're back. We'll be following it all here on Inside Edge. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe, share, and join the community, because this is just the beginning. Thanks for tuning in to episode 1 of Inside Edge.